This not just girl talk.
It's talk for the people.
You got two women,
Two voices,
one sound.
and that's the truth.
You here with the married Dawn,
And the selective Dawn.
and we here to call a spade a motherfucking spade. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get to it.
All right, we back and we are live, baby. And tonight rather, we have two special guests with us. We have Tiana, better known as Conversations with She, and Miss Amber Meadows.
Better known as Amber.
All right, now Amber, scoot up just a little bit. This ain't love talking slow jams. Don't get into that mic, girl.
What that mouth do?
Well,
Different show, right?
different show, right? All right. How you feeling over there today, Miss Ball?
I am blessed by the best.
All right. Come on now.
Should I have said that with Hennessy?
The Lord turned water into wine.
He sure did, and he knows what to feed my soul.
Just like a black person, the Lord know my heart.
He
Water's the
do.
base.
You know what I'm
Yes.
Who base? Because my base is Hennessy.
Listen, I got the Hennessy shirt on. Both the Hennessy got in the car. The daggone Marvin Sapp song
Exactly.
came on. I said, I'm thirsty for you. Well, I mean,
And you never would have made it. So look at that.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
All right. So let's talk a little personal productivity this week. So y'all let the people know what's going on in your life right now. What you working on?
So me, listen, I'm trying to press forward and finish this book. I am 95% done. I've been BSing. I have been procrastinating. I'm going to be very transparent, but I'm trying to get that done. A couple of people have asked me to join forces with them to put some events together. So just to keep you guys' eyes and ears open, I am about to collab with a young lady who helps sex trafficked teens in the area, in the DMV area. So her and I are going to collab, and we're going to do a book drive, but we're going to do a networking happy hour book drive. So everybody that's listening and everybody that's on our live feeds, y'all definitely are going to have to come out. Stay tuned. The details will be coming soon, as soon as we find a date.
And you said happy hour? Because we like happy hours.
Oh, baby, I know that. That's why we had to make it happy hour. But just make sure you bring a book or two.
Okay.
Because we're going to collect the books for the kids, and then we're going to give them out. Like, of course, the kids that she work with, she's going to have some different stations where they can come and pick up the books, or she'll drop them off. So I have that in the works. And then my Monday night party, I got some things in store.
Well, where's the Monday night party?
I
You know,
was gonna say,
Mondays
where the party?
Mondays be shitty for people.
Mondays be shitty, but let me tell you, people come out.
Tricky
It's
T,
like
not
low
right now. Not right now, Tricky T.
Hey, she ready. She locked it on. Hey, she ready. 1608 7th Street Northwest. It's at Glow Lounge. It's over there behind the 7-Eleven at 7th and Rhode Island Avenue.
Okay.
So I do that every Monday. We do different things. This Monday coming up is a song release, a birthday set. I'm kicking off my birthday.
Okay.
My
Libra
birthday?
season.
Next Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we about to listen. Y'all come out. I'm telling you, we got some things in store. It's a lot. I'm working on a lot.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
Well, Amber, you up?
All right. I'm gonna just put my disclaimer out there. I'm hot because I don't really be on the camera much, and I'm nervous.
What's to be nervous around? You around your good
You gotta
girlfriends.
own your thing.
That's gonna be nervous.
But-
Once you own it, you can get through it.
Exactly. So I'm never on this side of the camera, but
You don't
working
have to
on
whisper.
a few podcasts. Shout out to Salon Talk, DMV. Just a quick shout out to them. That's pretty much it right now. I got that
Amber, that is
popping.
not it for your resume.
It sure
Not for the
isn't.
resume, but what popping right now.
What's popping right
Okay.
now?
And supporting the Dons. So glad, happy to be here.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
Yeah.
for coming.
you.
You know, on our little show.
Not no little show. This ain't no little show on y'all bum ass live doing that thing show. What?
Look at this.
We
She
are.
ready.
Ain't no little show.
We are happy to have y'all. We want y'all to know that even though we here to kick the shit, we are proud of all of y'all accomplishments as black women in media, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. So, yeah, we're proud of y'all.
Probably doing more than I am.
Especially you, Tiana, because you from the hill.
Hey, L2, baby. Y'all know I stay hype.
So, tell us, how has support been from Oxon Hill?
So I'm not gonna say it's. I mean, to be honest, how has it been? I don't know, cause to be honest, y'all, I do not check my engagements as much as I probably should as far as my show go. I try not to focus on that, and I kind of just try to bring the best content that I can to my show to make people want to stay involved and make people want to like tune in, like, oh, that was a good topic. Like, hold up, I want to tune in next week. What the topic's gonna be? I've been off for a couple of weeks. I don't think nobody noticed though, because when I do my replays, my shows are so good, or the topics are so good that they're still engaged in it. If I had to say like how many people have like reposted or posted, not much.
No, not necessarily like how many reposts, but so what we like to do is Carmen came up with a segment called From the Hill.
Okay.
And we basically like to highlight and the purpose is kind of to change the narrative, tell me if I'm wrong, of people coming from Oxon Hill. A lot of times they'll dismiss us, and now they want to be the National Harbor or Fort Washington.
Exactly.
But a lot of shit came out of Oxon Hill.
Exactly.
You know, you were a model. You were recently a stylist. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
I did a movie.
On, was it Happily Ever After?
Yep. No,
Okay.
It's Angrily Ever After.
Angrily Ever After, which aired on BET. And that was like produced and directed by Terry Vaughn.
Yep. She produced it. I mean, she directed it. The producers, all black. Every last one of them are black, and a majority of them are from this area.
Okay.
Yeah. So we filmed the whole entire movie here in D.C.
So we have a stylist coming from Oxon Hill. You were a model. You're a podcast host.
Yes.
What else you got going on?
I'm doing everything. That's so crazy.
Everything. So like,
Oh, my
it's not
goodness.
necessarily to count the reposts, but have you felt like the love, or have you gotten the support from people around you? Let's say
definitely.
that. Okay.
Definitely. A lot of people didn't know that I was working on the movie for BET. I just wanted to live in that moment. It was just it was so amazing. So I really didn't tell a lot of people. I worked on that movie last year. I did that. That was the whole month of October. Literally, we said it's a wrap on bringing in my birthday at 4 o'clock like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on October the 18th last year. We started September the 30th. And it went all the way to October 18th. And that was day in, day out, nonstop. I probably took one day off. And that was because I was sick. I couldn't do it. And they was like, don't come to set sick.
Did you style everyone on set, or did they give you a group? How did they do that?
So the way it works is like you kind of just jump in. Like it's not really like you don't have directions. I came on as assistant stylist for the menswear.
Okay.
So the guy Cass who brought me on, he showed you this is everything, right? So you got your blueprint, and you just for each actor you lay everything out, and then you lay it out by day, and then they had a hotel room specifically for wardrobe. You go each day and you pick your day. And then that day, you just go get your day, and you go to the set, wherever you got to go.
Okay.
But it's, of course, traveling 24/7. You're not in one location for the whole entire day. And then if you need to step in for women's, then you step in for women's. If I'm on a set, because every stylist don't stay on set. So they switch out who goes on set. As a stylist, when you're on the movie set, they bring one woman assistant, one men's assistant, or one stylist, one or either or whatever. So if you're on set and you see that the woman's collar is out of place, you gotta fix her just like you would go and fix your male. Even it's not you when you on set of those movies, it's like an all inclusive thing. So
how did they come to pick you? And how'd that make you feel?
Oh girl, I'm still basking in like the joys of being on a BET movie set. Like it is amazing. Don't get it twisted though. It's not all peaches and cream. It is work. Most of the days are 16-hour days. That's the least amount of hours that you're gonna spend on a set in one day. The least amount of hours. So let's just say a minimum of a 16-hour day. I got chosen to do it because with my LLC, I do the styling, but I also do creative directing and closet organization. And in me doing creative directing, I have worked on the sets, on behind the scenes of fashion shows in the area. So the fashion show that I worked on was with the guy who brought me on, and it was with Marsha Ambrosia, Chef Huda, Hennessy was sponsoring it. They had nitrogen ice cream. They had like perfume.
Nitrogen ice cream.
Listen.
Y'all heard that?
It was all, listen, I ain't heard of it. I didn't taste it, but they had like it was extravagant. So I worked on it with him, right? And he was like, I gotta tell you something before you leave. So don't leave before you see me. So I'm like, all right, I'm thinking he's just gonna say you're doing a good job. Again. And he was like, so I need you tomorrow. I was like, okay. And he was like, and it was so crazy because like 2 months before that, I lost my job. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that. 2 months before that, lost my job. Maybe a month before that.
Please note that you ain't put your business out on social media.
Exactly.
Okay.
A month before that.
Because that's not everybody's place.
Exactly.
That ain't it.
Exactly.
It's not. And you wasn't begging through the inbox. But go ahead.
No. So I lost my job a month before that. And I was like, you know what? It's time for me to do everything that I want to do. And I ended up going to an event, ran into him. And then so at the end of the fashion show, he said, just so you know, tomorrow I start dressing, or I start seeing the actors for a movie that I'm working on. And I was like, okay. I'm still like, whatever. Congratulations, you know? He like, no, you're coming with me.
Nice.
Look at that favor.
Listen,
Nice.
you talking about favor. I was like, shut up. No, for real, don't play with me. Like, I started crying. I was like, bro, don't do that to me. Like, don't play. Like, it's not, and he knew that I had just lost my job. Because when we were at the event, he asked me what was going on with me. He hadn't seen me in a while because we worked with each other. So when I told him I lost my job, he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I got some stuff coming up. Don't even worry about it. Like, you're good. You're good. And when he told me that, I was crying. He's like, why are you crying? I was like, because you know that I just lost my job. And I didn't want to work there anymore. But I was doing it because I had to.
Right.
Man, let me tell y'all something. That day forward, like I said, from that day all the way up until October the 18th, every day except one day, we on set.
So I think that's dope that you
That's
was able
amazing.
to live your
Thank
dream.
Thank
After you was able to bounce back after that. But speaking of bouncing back, did we forget to ask you how your week was so far?
Yeah, cause she.
Oh, it was productive. It's been productive. My week gonna always be good.
That's good.
right.
I'm proud
Yes.
of you. Come on,
Yes.
35.
I'm telling you,
That
that
oldie
35
but
kicking,
goodie.
and we be like on a whole nother level. Like
We do, and that level come with some
Some
bone
work.
aches and some other stuff. But we do.
I'm not there
you still
yet.
got the manganese at 35 or no?
Man,
Because I tried to have
Come
it last
on,
night.
be that stallion.
I tried to have
I'm
it
the
last night,
stallion
y'all.
before Megan. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
I'm touching my ankles
Listen.
on any
Y'all,
given
I
day.
was showing off last night. My little thighs hurt, but listen, y'all not playing with me for 35. I'ma still show y'all.
Yeah, that's it. My week
We're
my week has been pretty good. I will
good.
say that. You know, life is good for me right now. I could complain, but it wouldn't make any difference.
That's what I
Favor
say.
is shining its light on me, and I'm really appreciative of that.
That's right.
And this also is a reflection of such. You know, our little show, people counted us
If
out.
you don't stop saying that little show,
Well, you know, that's how people refer to it, but, you
Haters.
know, Lil don't get you on Roku
because I bet they
and
don't got
Amazon.
no look. I bet they don't got no little show or whatever, like you say on Roku and Amazon.
They don't, but you know, it's all good.
Okay. They still working their little 9 to 5, bored as hell. You know what I'm saying? They don't got no life and they mad because they can't pursue their dream.
Well, I'm still working my 9 to 5.
No, but that's okay. Guess what? You working your 9 to 5, but you also doing something that you
I
love to
am.
do.
I am.
Something that a lot of people don't do. They don't jump out there and just,
Tis true. So since we jumping out there, we gonna jump out there and say, who is your most influential person, influential black woman in media right now?
yeah, it's so many.
You gotta pick one. Amber, you up?
That's such a tough question.
And that's coming from a director,
A producer.
somebody that's used to being behind the scenes. You've been to big conferences and everything.
I mean, I am a huge Ava fan.
What? Shut up.
Okay.
That was the first name that
Like-
came to mind.
I mean, just
And for those who don't know, Ava.
Duvernay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ava fan. I think just because she came, what people think is probably out of nowhere. She had a few independent things that she did. Some really nice, beautifully done films, but they weren't commercial. And so she got with Oprah and did Salem, and then that
So let
kinda
me ask you
sealed-
this real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off.
It's
When
fine, it's
something
fine.
isn't commercial, does that mean it's not as valid or the work isn't as good?
No, not at all. No, some of the best stuff that's done is independent. I mean, it's not bad content. It's a lack of opportunity and foot in the door. There's tons of good stuff out there that's just sitting on a shelf or on somebody's video camera or on their Adobe Premiere that they just don't get an opportunity to share. And so, I mean, that was her to a certain extent. She had this film, Middle of Nowhere, I think is the name of it, that I love. Mari Hardwick's in it. But, like, nobody really paid attention to it. And then she did Salem, and then I'm sure now a lot of people went ahead.
Was that her kickoff? Salem?
Well, it was the commercial kickoff.
Okay.
In my opinion. You know, you had the Oprah backing. And so, but I mean, I think she's real hot in terms of just wanted to make a voice for herself, attacking what she wanted to do. I mean, our stories are much different, but I think that she's just really doing the damn thing.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So definitely drawing inspiration from her. I probably am uniquely different where I don't look at necessarily women. I mean, I like the whole thing we need to recognize women in the industry because they need to be included. But I want to get away from, I don't want to be looked at as a woman in the industry. I want to be looked at as a person in the industry.
Okay.
And so I know we have to kind of establish the need for them first. So we do have to title it as such, women in the industry. But I want us to get to the point where it's just like, I'm just a writer in the industry. I'm a director in the industry, like that kind of thing. And so, you never really hear her talk about, she supports women on whole lots of platforms, like multi-level platforms. But it'll be good when we get to the point where just like, she's just like a hot director. We want her, not like a hot female director.
Right.
It's funny, we often touch on, and not necessarily media, but we often touch on how women want to be treated equally as men. And it's like, do we really want to be held accountable the same way that men are held?
In the industry?
But
definitely.
Yeah.
I do personally. I mean, there are, being a woman, there are a few little drawbacks, I think, being a woman, because it is a male-dominated, certainly the history of in film, and television to that extent. But other than just kind of not being taken seriously, either being approached in a way that you got to do something, or if you find a counterpart that's a male, instead of being able to really go head to head and collaborate with this person, there's this underlying you're a woman and I see you thing. And I think that just throws a wrench into the situation. It makes it really hard to do stuff that way. And so being a woman in the industry does mean, like, instead of me just being able to come in and you hear what I'm saying, what I did, it's you're taking in a whole bunch of other things into consideration, and then sometimes you don't get treated seriously.
And you said you don't like being on this side of the mic.
I don't.
You.
And look at you.
Dropping these gems.
Did that.
I mean, I ain't say I ain't had nothing to say.
My B.
I just said this
All right,
side.
who you got, Tiana?
So Ava Duvernay would be my first pick. But if I had to choose someone else, I would say Lena Waithe.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. So I'll tell you this. I learned that, I mean, she's doing a lot. And all of her stuff is, like, amazing. But she has the Hillman Grad Network. And I really appreciate that website because, so as a writer, me working on, 3 books, I am also, I didn't even say, co-writing a script with somebody for, like, a web reality series type thing. And this is out of my, I've never wrote a script before. Yeah, I've never wrote a script before, but I've always had ideas, especially since working on the movie set I'm in. After working on the movie set, y'all, I was like, oh, I could do that too. I could write a script. Or I could write a TV pilot. And I came up with a TV pilot idea, but I said, you know what? I'm not gonna jump head in. And then I was researching Lena, and I just have been like following her, following Ava, following Issa Rae.
Are you talking about The Shy, right?
Yeah, she the Shy. Orange is the New Black.
I thought it was Leela, so it's Lena. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
And so then what she did with this whole Hillman Grad Network is she has a program where you could come out, if you're in Cali, you can come and she will mentor you into writing and production.
Nice.
I can't do that. I live here. Now, if I had JR, let me tell you something. I would have been on the first thing smoking over to LA, and I would love to experience that. But for the people that can't come out there, she has like a whole resource library, and you could click on these links, and it's everything you could think of. I mean, it's everything you could think of about production. I'm talking about writing scripts, writing movies. You know, they say that your movie needs to be like 90 pages, I think it is, or something like that. So she teaches how to climax at the 75th page, how to climax your movie, so that at that 75th page, your viewer will still be engaged, and then teaches you how to bring it back down and
Is
everything
she talking your language?
Yeah, that's
Because
because
I was about to say, you look like this is real familiar, and I'm like, what?
So it's like,
That's the Jamie mom.
listen, so it's like when I say you look at that website and it's like, you know, you get that letdown because you can't go out there to LA to experience that. But then I can also click on all these different links and figure out if everything that she's telling you is right here and it's free. Child, I'm like, this girl is a gem. So Ava, Lena, and Issa, because Issa just put up a new program, or just they said that she put out a new program for diversity. And younger people, like she wanna mentor people on how to do what it is that she did. Like you said, I agree with you. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, she's another woman in media, but at the same time, it's like, I need men to know that we can do just as well as you. My mentor from the movie, the only reason I'm writing these books, or I'm gonna put these books out, is because I gained a mentor on set of the movie the day before we wrapped. We were sitting under the thing because it was raining, and we were in Georgetown. And she's like, so what are you doing? And I was just like, well, you know, I just lost my job, so I guess I'm just going. I said, no, I got books and stuff that I'm working on, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And she was like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're going to put out all of them books. I said, well, I was listening to this lady, and you got to pay her. She's going to help you put your books out for you, and she's going to publicize. She said, what's her name? And I told her, she said, oh, I know who that is. Don't pay her. You better not pay her. She said, I don't have nothing against her, because everybody got to get their money how they get it. She said, but you better not pay her. Matter of fact, give me your phone. I was like, my phone? She was like, yeah, give me your phone and pull your internet up. I was like, okay.
It's a couple things I want to piggyback off before we get to who you find the most influential. But you said that, and this is no judgment at all, but you said that Lena has this thing out in California, and you can't go because of JR. So I was listening to this podcast earlier this week, and she was talking about how a lot of times women will use their why as their excuse. Ooh. And so I was like, that makes so much sense, because I know a lot of people that'll be like, well, I can't do this because so-and-so, or I'm doing this and I can't do that. But if y'all think about people, and I'm not telling you to go out to California, because you know.
No, but it's funny.
I'm still working my 9 to 5, but like Taraji picked up from the Hill and took her ass out to California with nothing but a couple dollars in her bank account with her son, and it took a while for shit to kick off, but you know.
The why for me is definitely, I'm my own worst enemy. There's no other blame on that but myself. I'm not gonna lie.
But I think that women do that, period. Like, I think that women stand in their own way, and that's why people don't take us as seriously. Maybe this is just me speculating after listening to you all and knowing like some habits that I had for myself. Like, I think that women do that, period. They'll stand in their own way. We make our excuses to push everybody else to their dream, but we standing in the background trying to live through them or regretting decisions later on. So not to...
Well, thank you for that, because I clearly needed that.
Yeah, but
thank you. I needed that.
You've spoken about doing that yourself, about being the hype man or pushing people to different levels, but you haven't maybe felt the support, or I don't want to speak for you, but you know.
Well, for me, you know, I always say support look different, so I really don't care. If one person has tuned in, I've reached that one person. And then I don't know what that conversation would look like for that one person going forward. Like, hey, you know, I was talking to Carmen and she said such and such. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not one of those people that I feel, validated by millions or hundreds or even a few people coming out. You know, I'm good with, if I reach one, I reach many. Because my word gonna always carry on.
Yeah.
But do you think that you have stood in your own way? at
Absolutely.
times? Okay.
Absolutely. And it took me, and I've said this before, being in the most uncomfortable space of my life to say, I am so much bigger. I'm really selling myself short. But you know what it really took? It took me seeing one of my ideas, and I had gave this person the whole blueprint.
Oh, my God.
I mean, from beginning to end. And when I saw them execute the idea, I was like, this shit is trash. But it's trash because they didn't have my finesse. But that's my fault. And I wasn't mad at them at all. I was mad at myself because I sold myself short. So I had to learn, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it for me. And I was cool with that. Like, real cool with that. I'm still cool with that.
So who do you find the most influential in media right now, women-wise?
Well, right now, I'm old school.
Okay.
So the person who I have envied the most is no longer with us. He's not on this side of the world, Maya Angelou. And I was introduced to her in the 4th grade by my math teacher, Miss Baker. Shout out to her. She introduced me to her and to Langston Hughes. And I really feel like that's where my love of writing came from. Maya really had a way with words. And if you listen to her, now, disclaimer, she became a little coon-tastic towards her last days of life.
You think so?
She most certainly did. But I respected, that's it.
She didn't care.
She had gotten to that place where, older people just don't care.
I'm going to tell you how it is. Like it or love it.
But that doesn't make her a coon. That's just a
No.
citizen for you.
Nah,
she was
a
so
little
cutthroat. She was so cutthroat.
She was a little coon-tastic towards the end, so I just chopped it up to age.
So hold on, is that like what people claim Bill Cosby turned into when he was...
I know Bill, your man.
Free Bill.
And by free
like
Bill,
Bill,
you're not
too.
talking about Bill. You're talking about Heathcliff or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yes.
I like Bill.
I know.
Too.
You talking about the character that he showed to the world.
That's all I know. I don't know
I
Bill.
like him as a person too. I have my
Okay.
own personal. My family has a small
have,
connection with him.
mixed
so-
Now, question. Since you brought up Bill Cosby, that kind of takes me into this one question that I had. What is the image that you feel like people see versus the image that you portray as your role in media? Oh, shit. Don't get quiet now. Somebody say something.
I will say this: I don't have much of an image in media. I don't have social media. I mean, I do, but I'm not high on it. I'm kind of. I guess my dream started way before social media existed. I've been trying to get this going since I was old enough to write. I've been writing and wanting to make movies. So I kind of was taught and jumped in from an old school standpoint. Now, I do know that I'm probably could benefit tremendously from having a social media presence because that's kind of just how the way the world works. But part of, I think, why I haven't done it is because I've been entirely too concerned with what other people think. And so if I don't have that, I don't have to worry about it. And so...
But do you really need social media for people to feel a way about you? Because you could have your own circle who could feel a way about you.
More people would feel a way about me with social media. So it won't just be the people I'm around in my circle. It's like now there's more impression. And that's okay. I think what happens is, everybody has their different thing in life. Me just getting older and the fucks folder becoming way smaller. You just get to the point where you're just like, all right, this is me. How Maya Angelou, she got to a point where she's like, this is how I feel. Take it or leave it.
Right.
And so, I think that's, the angle. I think we get a little too serious sometimes. You can't do anything or say anything without it being offensive. And I consider myself a pretty edgy person, even though it probably doesn't seem like that on the surface. And so I'm always being mindful of the fact, like, oh shit, if I say that, I just said I like Bill Cosby. Someone's going to have a problem with that. I already knew. That was the first thing that popped in my mind when I said it. So,
yeah.
But, so I think it's kind of getting beyond that point, and
it sucks too.
it does. I mean, it does.
I feel like we got to be more censored in our writing and
Women
our
or
creative.
I don't
just
think we
period?
should, but I think that's what it ends up getting geared
Just
towards.
period.
Yeah, like just period. And it sucks as a writer, like you have you're a writer and you're just like, your mind is going to always be running it. And I think it sucks that we have to limit ourselves, or we have to censor what we write.
Well, don't. See, that's the thing, because you got to find a platform. I love TV One. I'm going to put this out there.
I do too.
But it's not a network for my stuff. and I've tried to give it to them, but it goes kind of outside of what their traditional values are. And I don't knock anybody's value system. If they want to bring only this image, black lifestyle, and it has to be portrayed like that, like, more power to you. You have an audience for it. Cool. It's just not necessarily what I write about, and that's not necessarily reflective of me. And when I went to the last ABFF, which, I thought was good, and I was gonna not go anymore, but I'm gonna give it one more chance. But one of the best.
We going to Miami next year.
Okay, but real quick, tell people what that is, because everybody doesn't know.
The American Black Film Festival, and so they have it in Miami every year. So I've done like 7 of them, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna go anymore, and it wasn't the festival, it's me. It's me needing to get in front, outside of myself and out of my way. But the biggest takeaway that I got from that was, a person said in one of the symposiums, write what you want to see. And, although I love TV One and some of the other networks, there's no representation of me on TV, who I am as a person. And, so I think that I use that as my anchor, at least going forward from the last, conference in June. Like, I want to write my story, and it's not going to always be a happy ending, and it doesn't look like this, and I do cuss, and I do drink, and I do this and this and that, and that doesn't make me less or whatever. And I think it's kind of trying to redefine and get away from some of the stereotypes that exist for women, for Black people in the media.
So I don't it's funny because everybody I want to reference is a man when I think about some of the things y'all talking about. But when you're talking, I think about Dave Chappelle and how people say he has pushed the envelope, but he has an audience, a little bit of everybody.
And he's still standing.
Yes. Like one of the highest paid, like on Netflix or something like that. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with, excuse me, with you doing you and pushing the envelopes. I think that's actually more of what we need, because I think a lot of times people get caught up in the sensitivity and the censorship, and that's when people start living these fake lives.
You're absolutely right. And unlike school curriculum or something, entertainment is the one area where you have choice.
That's true.
I don't have to see it. If somebody wants to make a movie about the KKK, go ahead.
They've done it.
You ain't gonna get necessarily my money about it. I might not on demand it, but I can't be selective with the censorship thing. If I want to be able to express how I feel with whatever my thing is, then you should be able to do the same thing. And with entertainment, you don't have to partake. And I think that's the thing that people get caught up in. It's not something that a person is shoving down your throat. You got the choice to eat it or not.
That's true.
Don't eat it if you don't like it.
That's true.
I think that's on all media platforms, though. I mean, when people get caught up in people's social media posts and things like that, you got an option to keep scrolling. Unfollow, whatever. Like, you have options. So it's just like, I think that now we are just caught up in like a trendy world. Like, I think the reality TV.
Yes.
Once that shit hit, it went bananas.
Yes.
Like, I was trying to watch Love and Hip Hop last night, and I was like, I can't even do this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. When we look at Love and Hip Hop, it's a Black woman behind that, Mona Scott.
But
Now let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So we're now talking about a Black woman having other Black women portrayed or, pit themselves against each other, because all of her Love and Hip Hop series have you filming the Crown Roll box. Everybody's Love and Hip Hop series has the same storyline. One person goes to jail, one person has baby mother issues, one person has substance abuse, one person has a family issue. You telling me within our communities we don't have nothing positive going for ourselves?
Listen, that's why I don't look at it, because I feel like as an African American woman, why would you want to perpetuate this negative image of your own people? Why are you pitting them against one another? Why are you highlighting the negative things of these people's lives instead of trying to lift them up? Not through their negative ways, but through something positive and what they're doing, and that's actually contributing or giving back to our community.
Are we selling ourselves short for a paycheck?
Selling ourselves short for
I
a
was getting ready
paycheck.
to say,
think-
like, the
yeah.
actors are just as big of a problem.
Yes,
as-
they are. I
think that
totally
is
agree.
It definitely is a paycheck thing, but I think it also is bigger than just like, yeah, we are highlighting black people in a not so favorable way, but I think it also social media plays a role in this, because if you look at earlier reality shows, Real World and stuff like that, watching
wasn't like
people,
that.
yeah, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't. I used to
We
love
have bought into a whole society of what's real doesn't exist. It's this fabricated version of ourselves and what we think is popping. And so Real World in the first couple of seasons was great because you actually saw people doing what they would normally do. If I don't like you, some of the brothers was never home. They had a TV. Some people just wanted to watch. I mean, you really actually saw a real life. We have bought into this whole thing about being something we're not, and you can capture that in a photo. That's the greatness about media. You can manipulate it however you want. But
So
yeah.
do you think? Okay, so like, and it's funny that you said that because isn't that stuff scripted?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like scripted
For the
reality.
most part.
Okay.
For the most part. But then you have shows like, I think it's Married to Medicine.
That's not
Atlanta.
scripted. Okay.
But I'm not going
never
to say it's not
watched that.
scripted, but we have 4 women, I believe, on that show who are doctors.
Okay.
Not all of them. Two
Four.
are wives.
Okay.
Contessa, and I'm being very careful when I say her name because Dr. Heavenly called her Contessa. Which I think was totally inappropriate. So you have
That's
Dr.
very
Contessa, Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Jackie.
And then you got Quad, Toya, and Mariah.
They're not
Oh
doctors.
wait, I think I did see that.
Quad.
I think I did see that show because I
One
remember
time
that
for the
name for some
brown-skinned
reason.
girl.
Quad.
But my
She on
question is that
Sister Talk.
how is it that we looking at 4 women who are doctors, right? They are credentialed,
Right.
but we looking at them doing the same shit
I'm not okay
that
with it.
Nene and Yandy and
Yeah.
everybody else is doing.
I'm not okay with it.
Because they
So how
so
we
real.
change the script? Like,
And would you watch it if it didn't happen?
But and that's the thing. Like,
See,
are
that's
we,
the fine
Like,
line.
are we
That's the
watching-
gray area. Would you watch it if they were, come on, let's hold hands and
I
give
would,
each other
I would.
hugs, and everything is.
I think I would, too.
There's no conflict.
because I want the narrative to be changed about us. I feel
Yes.
like our reality TV series have made the narrative for African American people to seem like they're volatile.
I
They're
agree.
always ready to fight. They don't have no class, no tact, no matter what their credentials are, and like or how much money they have. And I just want the narrative to change.
Especially
So-
with women.
so Ayanna
yeah.
was working on changing the narrative, and if
She
you watch her
was.
change
Who
my
was?
life, Ayanna.
Yeah, and I have, and I love it. But
Do you feel like she does too much sometimes? Do you feel like she makes it that you have to experience that trauma? And is she doing it for the reality portion of TV to show that, yes, these people have experienced trauma and I'm helping them work through it? Or is she doing it for ratings?
I feel like when you're exposing trauma at any level, it's gonna be like as if it's extra, because it's trauma. So and if this trauma is trauma that you haven't really identified with, or you know what I'm saying, like try to work through prior to these types of shows and these things. Cause see, when you get in front of a camera, that's something totally different. And if you can't even work through your trauma behind the camera, it's gonna be that much more harder for her to try to pull it out of you when you get in front of the camera.
So who's that for? Is it for them or is it for Ayanna?
I think I feel like it might be a little bit of both. I feel like she might get a little bit of satisfaction out of knowing that I could possibly help these people come to terms with the fact that they had this trauma and that they need to work through it. But at the same time, these are things that these people really do need to get through, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have reached out to her. So she's pulling it out of them, you know, or she's trying to pull it out of them. And yeah, it is, you know, I feel like everything on TV, of course, is going to be for ratings. And you don't want to
because
see
it's
selfish.
just the start. And I mean, people know healing takes longer
Yeah,
than that.
just
Than
that
that
30
60
minutes.
minutes.
She might perhaps get the ball. I don't watch her show much, but she might get the ball rolling.
I
But
think that's
you know,
what
to
it is.
truly heal from something, you have to work at it. It's an ongoing process.
So this would be the thing to see if what she's doing is fake. Is she still working with these people after their episodes?
No.
Behind closed doors.
Well, I don't know that for sure, but I'm just guessing.
You said that no with much confidence.
Because I don't believe it. So this is what I'm trying to work on within myself. So I don't think that
Come on,
I don't
beloved.
think that dealing with grief and trauma should be done on TV, because I feel like it opens you up to more criticism. and you're already in a really vulnerable state. So I don't feel like any of that is
social
genuine.
media piece again.
It is.
That's true.
There's no.
Social
I think that has played a toll on everybody's
Yes.
relationship. My two favorite examples, Wendy and B. Smith. Not, I know again here.
B.
Yeah, I'm
Smith
putting
was
it out
the
there.
one that went
Listen.
senile, right?
The one
Alzheimer's. Dementia,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Her husband
What's
moved the
he
lady
now?
into the house
Yeah.
with them.
But what's senile?
The old folks term. Keep it going.
Okay.
Don't even worry about that.
Okay.
35.
In a union, you make your own damn rules.
Okay.
Whatever me and my husband decided is what we're going to do. And I, for some reason, don't feel like, even with Wendy, like the reason why this definitive thing happened was because everybody then started chiming in.
You mean with her husband?
Yes,
Okay.
I feel like
think
this.
so?
Yes,
You don't
I
think
feel
that it was
no,
something
I
that
don't
I
know
feel
if
like
I'm
it might
with
have
that
been
one,
something that
Amber.
was already brewing.
Yeah.
And then the media
one thing
made
I will,
it worse.
I've never been married. You know,
Me
I
neither,
might
though,
not ever be
child.
married. But one thing I have learned from seeing other married couples is that nothing is news to either partner.
No,
They
I can agree
already
with that.
know it. Nothing is news.
That's true.
You
That's true.
you turn a blind eye and you look the other way because you have every right to. And who am I to say something about it? What's works for you and your union
That's
is
true.
none of my business.
That's true.
And I would say that Wendy and her husband have been together for a really long time. If the woman lives down the street, I'm sure
She
the people
already
bringing
knew.
it to her attention
She
was not the
already
first
knew.
time. I think that perhaps B. Smith and her husband might have had a conversation before she got really bad that said, look, I want you to be
happy. I was thinking
you
that
have
too.
worked hard for me. I've met both of them before. You worked hard for me. I don't want you to be miserable. And I'm not going to be able to do anything for you. We don't know, but we project our own personal insecurities and opinions on everybody else, and we prevent them from living what might be their happy
best
life.
life, yeah.
And social media and media totally puts a damper on that.
Yes.
If you want to be in an open relationship, you kind of can't have one and be in the public eye.
Because people going to have
They're
something to
going to
say.
have all kinds of shit to say. It's none of their business. If
Is
that
this
works
why
for-
you stay off of social media?
Oh, I don't have a relationship to be open with to begin
No,
with.
but I mean, social media opens you up to a lot of judgment.
I would say
Yeah.
this without being without being a weak person at all. I ain't built for it.
Listen,
It ain't
I'm
my
with you.
forte. I speak on a different, deeper level. I have had the same set of friends since I've been in single digits, kind of for a reason. I can only give you me. And a lot of times you might not give me unless you're going to be patient enough to go through my layers and I'm going to be patient enough to go through yours. When you get on social media, unless I really know you, I feel like I don't know who the hell you are. And I don't even want to buy
I'm
into
telling
any
you.
of this stuff. I'll be back in style when girls from the 90s are hot again.
Yes.
So I agree with you. I
sorry.
think
Like,
that
I'm
was
just
one of my reasons that I was kind of hesitant on starting this with Carmen, because I felt like this is my friend. She knows me. Not everybody knows me. They make these assumptions.
Yeah.
And so she knows how to deal with me. You know, and it's like when people start seeing that, or they start seeing us move different or things like that, then it's, oh, why you doing this with her, or this and that, or X, Y, and Z. Nah, well,
As long as y'all stay here,
we was good. Like, so that's
You
one
gotta
of the
be
reasons
solid.
why I didn't want to do this with her. But I think that, like, was it last Saturday?
This past Saturday.
We had like one of those conversations, and I just have to break down to her, you know, how I feel and how sensitive I am, because I don't think that people see a lot of sisterhood
Yes.
or forgiveness or loyalty. They don't
Oh
see
my
a
God.
lot of that, and that's something that I think that we have in our friendship, and it's easy to attack.
Yeah.
So
That was going to be
That
my
is
next
a-
topic when I came back.
That's-
To the
Come on
podcast.
back.
Yes.
All right.
When I go back, like when I start my podcast up again, I mean, I'm not really away from it, but I am. But that was going to be loyalty within women. Like, because I feel like we too damn catty. Why are we so catty when we can all be something? Like, whatever your something is may not be my something. And even if your something is my something, baby girl, what you bring is different than what I bring. We can come together and make that shit pop. Like, but why don't we? And you know what? To be honest, a lot of what I see in the DMV is this crabs in a barrel. Oh, I'm not going to help this person out but so much because I don't want them to do more than what I'm going to do. But me, I'm like, babe, what you need? You want to know how to start your own part? What you want? And see, and the funny thing about it is this. I'm not even where y'all at yet. I'm not on all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on all platforms. I'm not there yet. Am I making my way there? Yeah, I am. I'm going to get there. But I'm not going to hate on y'all because y'all there. Y'all want to come on? Come, let's go. Let's do this. Oh, what? Y'all didn't even know. I was about to tell y'all, I was about to reach out to y'all and tell y'all I needed y'all to come on my shit. And y'all hit me.
But
so
I think that's a security issue within
it's crazy.
Women.
But it's, and you know what though? It's within women, but I feel like it's still to the DMV area as a whole. Like, they nobody feels like they need to help somebody else out. And again, if they do want to help them out, they only gonna do about so much. It's like, why?
Well, with that said, we're gonna go around one sentence. What's your footprint as a black woman in media? Go.
One sentence, honesty.
One sentence. Okay.
It is. You get what you see. Wait.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Skip.
Luckily, we're gonna reverse. Tiana, you'll go.
Oh Lord. To be as raw, as real, and as touching as I can possibly be.
Okay.
Selective. We'll give Amber a little bit more time.
My footprint would be to know that you heard my voice. It made you uncomfortable, but it made you think.
Yes, I like that.
Amber?
I like that.
I don't know. I'm still figuring that out.
All right, well, we got
like
about
that
13 more minutes,
Okay.
so I'm going to let you figure that out.
We're going to bring that back around.
But
so,
I have one quick question before you go to Ask the Dawn. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
So I know that we've talked a lot about the images that we see on social media, the attitudes or personas that we see within women on media. So I think that with our male guests, they talk a lot about how women hold a lot of power. And even though we're in this male-dominated field, we still hold a lot of power in our positions. So with that said, what are we willing to do? What are you doing to change the narrative that people see of women in media? Well, anybody can hop in.
No,
we all have media platforms.
I guess I'm probably in that small category that thinks that there is a variety of different women portrayed in media.
Okay, I agree. I should say that.
And so
That's true.
I mean,
it's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
whatever you
because
feel.
actually what you said made me start thinking. So that
I can go and draw plenty of strong black women characters from shows that go back to when I was young in the 80s. Like,
That's
so
true.
I guess I think most of the marginalization that I've seen with women in the media is just on the other side of the camera.
Okay.
You know, not getting an opportunity, you know, you going from a role of being someone's secretary in Hollywood to then trying to be the writer. And we have, 75 years of that but I think we have had a lot to offer. I think what we have considered mainstream has been limited, but with all these multiple platforms that exist now, I think you are able to see, strong. But I guess I also I don't ever want to get away from creativity and the story that a person's to tell. Some things about media, if we're watching Sesame Street, yes, has a responsibility to do something and to educate. But if we get away from telling a story, and my story, whatever it is that I'm writing, the woman is weak because of whatever, that's what the story is.
Right.
I don't need to dress it up to make you feel more comfortable. It's supposed to speak to somebody else. And then there will be another film where maybe the woman is kick-ass and she's doing X, Y, and Z, and that will speak to somebody else. But, I mean, art is art, and if we start to censor it too much from the content standpoint, I think we lose what the whole
idea of artistic and your
expression
creative
is,
ability is. Yes.
you know.
So just to piggyback off of that real quick, and I don't want it's the whole 2 seconds, but shout out to Tyler Perry for opening that studio.
Yes, that shit
But
is huge.
That's awesome.
I definitely think that he has made a lot of money off of our back, making us look like weak individuals as
That's
women
true.
in a lot of his movies. We take a lot of L's in his movies.
That's true.
I appreciate the fact that he named some studios behind some legendary women in media, but my nigga, you definitely played us in a couple.
A Family That Prays or something like that. Is that the movie with Nia Long? Is that Nia Long?
No, you talking about Sanaa Lathan.
I mean, Sanaa Lathan, yes.
Okay.
That movie? Yes.
And Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
And the one where the guy ended up in the big house after he had left Elise Neal.
That one too.
Like
Those two
I
movies.
feel like the whole portrayal of Medea is like, but okay. Sorry. You have anything you want to add before we get into the Ask the Dawn?
No. No, I don't.
Tiana, anything you want to add before we get into the Ask the Dawn?
Nope.
Okay. Now we going for the Ask the Dawn. This is a real question.
Okay.
It's personal accountability.
Okay.
So you meet somebody, y'all are having casual, unprotected sex. You're not in a relationship, but I tell you up front, like, yeah, Slim, I don't want to have a baby. I'm pregnant now. But I told you I didn't want to have a baby.
Pass the Hennessy.
Whose responsibility?
Hold up, let me pull it up.
Is it fair? Is it fair that this person relinquishes their personal accountability because I told you up front I don't want to have a baby? Or are we holding both parties accountable? I'm going to save my answer for last.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
So this is the male thinking in me. But go ahead. I'm going to save my answer for
I
last.
see the things.
No, you might need this straight.
Oh, shit,
No.
man. And look, people tuned in too.
So, is it my turn?
This your
It
turn.
is now.
Oh.
You up, Scotty.
I think that she ain't play her cards right. She's short. He gave her a warning. You ain't take it.
But
You
why
lost.
is she short?
If the man tell you I don't want to have no baby, and you still, but you let him go in you raw after I tell
Was this
you,
at the Hennessy night?
Oh,
or no?
absolutely not.
after
Well,
I
anything
tell
probably
you,
was possible on this night.
Oh, no.
if I tell you that I'm not interested in having a baby, and you let me go up in you raw, and you let me bust, and you expect me to be a daddy, that's not fair. Nigga, I gave you a warning.
What planet does he live on? Because wait a minute, Toy. Let's rewind it back a second. Wait.
Okay, hold your answer, Amber. We're going to go around the table. Okay, Tiana, you up. And Brian, you might have to slide in here too as a man.
So, we all adults here. Bruh, you already knew that this was, and I'm doing that because my child was conceived kind of sort of like that.
Whoa.
Well,
Hey, some more Hennessy. Let
me tell you
my
something.
mixer is empty.
And I'm going to tell you this.
T, we said no names.
No.
Okay.
and
I'ma
for,
tell you
but hold
this.
on, let me do 1 second. And for those of you all who know this situation, don't be messy.
Right. Don't be
don't.
messy. Because it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, and it's over and it's done with, and I've already identified it.
And that's her
This
business.
isn't a hypothetical.
No,
No,
this is a real
something
answer
somebody
down
really
question.
asked. And it's crazy though, because it's not that this was my entire situation. I'm not saying that this entire question was my entire situation, because there's definitely more parts to our situation. But it was, bruh, ain't nobody about to keep doing this. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so if you think about it, it's just like, at what point do we become
I
adults?
don't know what you're talking about.
Like, nobody's about to keep playing around, and then if something happens like that, you think that you're just gonna be like, I'm done. No.
But
now
T,
we
he
both
told you.
So,
But
and I said, you know what say? And at that time I might have said, you know what? I don't want none either.
What in?
But then things change and things happen, and I'm not gonna be.
Okay.
But you adult, step up to the plate, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. Even if he did
No.
tell you, sometimes things happen that we're not ready for.
That's
being
true.
adult.
That's true.
Being
Amber,
adult.
you
That's
what?
all
That's
I'm saying is being adult.
No, you're right. He did kind of walk into that.
I mean, but if I told you I wasn't going to rob the bank, but I'm driving a getaway car, I ain't going to jail too. I'm just trying to think. Do guys learn some other way to get a girl pregnant than skeeting in them like everybody else? So if
so-
you,
Because it's always
even though we had a conversation,
So me and you together, right? And I'm driving, and you say I want to go rob a bank. I have a choice whether I'm going to that bank with you or not.
right?
If I go to that bank with you, then I'm going to jail with you.
Yeah.
But if I be like, oh no, you gotta get out right here, like,
So if
I'm not gonna let
poked
you go all the
holes
way.
in the condom, if she slipped it off, if
Oh,
something happened
child.
like that, but if whatever, it takes two to make this happen.
This is true.
So unless my thing is, I'm going to do everything. I don't want a kid, so I'm going to do everything necessary to prevent
not
that
have a
from
kid.
happening.
Yes.
So if I say fuck all of that, and I do everything that would make a kid happen, and then be like, I ain't fucking with it. That's what the hell?
Yeah,
kind of shit?
because
Even
raw
after
sex
he
don't mean that
told
you don't
you?
want no
But
kid.
what did he think was going to happen when he left it in?
But
Because
what did
raw
you
sex
think
don't
was
mean
going?
that you don't
But
want a
what did
child,
you
though.
think was
Both
going to happen?
are responsible. He doesn't get off the hook for. So that's a disclaimer. Come on, we can add that to everything.
Yeah,
in
raw
life.
sex don't mean that you don't want a child.
I
Raw
mean,
sex
but
mean you want a
anything.
child.
I say I'm not going to do it, but then I go and do
I
it.
don't know,
some
T.
kind of.
Because okay. Let me say this. Raw sex and you leaving it in does not say that you don't want a child.
when I
Okay?
when,
Raw sex leaving it in and you busting, bruh, you want a child.
when I first
Period.
had my first kid, my grandmother said,
I mean,
"You wanted
unless
a
a
baby?"
chick
I said,
is
"I
dead
didn't
on her-
plan this."
Look,
She
look,
said,
look.
"Did you use something?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, then you plan to have a baby."
Yes. Because I didn't plan to have one either. And
You
my
riding-
mom was on them same lines.
You run a stoplight, you might get hit.
You never know.
Selective.
Well, this is the unpopular opinion,
That's
but
fine. That's fine. That's what makes it good.
I'm gonna say this on her.
My nigga.
I'm gonna say this
All
on
right,
her.
wow.
I'm gonna say this
why
on.
I fuck with her.
Okay, but look. Okay, but look.
fuck
you
what
say-
y'all
I'm
think.
what you mean.
I'm
Y'all
gonna say
bitches is wrong.
I'm gonna
Not
say
you,
this.
T.
Well, no.
'Cause I love
And
you.
this is the thing. I didn't, but I did like when it happened. It wasn't like a trap type thing.
I get it,
I
I get
think some chicks do that shit because they really want to try to trap this nigga. And
Yeah, that wasn't what
mine
y'all
wasn't
said.
a trap.
You didn't say she
Mine
tricked him
was-
into having
and
a
that's why I
kid.
said we'll talk right after this. But mine wasn't I'm trying to trap this nigga. It was you're gonna fucking stand up and you're gonna do what you're supposed to do because we not about to keep having sex raw and you busting and
Yeah,
then fuck
if I
and the
tricked
fuck
him,
if I'm
I
pregnant we
lied
keeping
and
this
said I was
motherfucking
on the
kid.
pill. I
What
wasn't
you
on
got?
the pill.
Come on.
That's
You know
fine.
your
And
answer.
I ain't
I'm
want no
sorry
kids,
because I didn't
y'all.
mean to cut you off.
I ain't want no kids.
There are levels to protecting yourself, right? So if you gonna have unprotected sex, ladies, there are IUDs.
That's true.
There's the pull-out method. There's the swallow method. There's the shoot and skeet method. There's a lot of proactive measures that you could take, right? So
show y'all how to
if he
swallow.
gave her the disclaimer that I'm not
Swallow
ready
them
for a
kids.
baby, swallow and spit, whatever you
know what I'm
gotta
talking
do.
about? Yeah,
If you
yeah.
But I blame him too because
Thank
he
you.
too
That's
could
all
have
that
put on a
matters.
condom.
Both of them are responsible. That's all.
As irresponsible. No, they weren't being responsible.
No,
As
I said both of them
irresponsible.
are responsible.
Yeah, that's
As
all I'm saying.
irresponsible adults,
Yes.
they chose not to protect themselves.
Right.
So
And still do it.
that's it.
Even though he knew he didn't want one and she knew he didn't want
And
one too.
I'm not the type. I'm not gonna beg you to
Right.
take care of something we made together.
Nope.
This is
Either
a
you gonna be healed, you not.
this is a
That's what I
conversation
said.
that you're gonna revisit when your child is of age to understand what's
Agreed.
going on, and you're gonna miss out on those monumental moments in their
Exactly.
life. So if all I meant to you was a lay,
Yep.
no problem. But women, we have a very bad habit of pushing it off on the men.
I
no,
agree. I
that's not
agree.
fair.
Pushing
I
what
agree.
off on the man?
Pushing the
just push
responsibility,
responsibility
the
off.
accountability.
The
In this
accountability.
instance, in this
yeah.
instance, the young lady didn't feel like she was wrong. No, sis, you wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, she ain't using that
Because
either.
at the end
That's
of the
what
day,
I'm saying.
it's
You're
Yeah,
like,
wrong.
both
you
of them
didn't
are
do
wrong.
it
I
either.
just don't feel like the woman
Should be the only one handling the
yeah.
responsibility in its entirety.
But
But
they're both
that was my thing.
responsible.
Like, bruh, if you
I'm not
gonna be
eating
healed,
no
you
more
not.
cheese pizza.
So the
Let me get a
consensus is what?
large.
So the
Like that.
consensus is what?
The consensus is that they both, but technically, yeah, she's wrong. She is.
Okay.
Yeah, she's. And that's the thing. I agree.
So
with
you saying both?
Yeah, I think
It's
both.
definitely both.
Yeah.
I'm saying both. So
Toya says just her.
I'm leaning on the bitch.
I'm leaning on the bitch.
Well, I think that it's both, but I'm
But
giving
you gearing more towards the woman.
I'm giving 80 to that woman.
But she didn't
Because-
trick him, right?
No.
No,
No, she didn't.
trick
No,
him.
she didn't
So
trick him.
this was just the same. They went out for drinks and stumbled home.
Well, let me not.
Drunk
We not.
and
No,
they
no,
had-
Amber. We not gonna give them all that. The person just asked me this question because this is what they're currently going through.
Okay.
Sis, I love you and thank you for watching, but this on you.
It's on both, but it starts with her.
It started with her. It's on both though, because my thing is, and this, you know what, I can speak from because of experience. I used to tell myself, you know, now don't get it twisted though. I did give the option. If you don't want to be here, you don't gotta be. He gonna be good regardless. But
T, we want to make sure you ain't talking too much with the Hennessy.
no.
Because I don't want nobody in your business.
Oh, good,
like I'm
please.
missing something.
I'm so transparent about that.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
after hours.
And I'm
Let's
so
go ahead
transparent.
with your closing
No,
thoughts,
yeah.
Selector. We're going to go around and give
Yeah.
closing thoughts.
Yeah. Nah, but no, I'm transparent, y'all. And nobody can really be in my business because, I mean, it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. I'm very transparent about my journey.
That's a Libra for you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's dope, but I think that we also know that in the DMV community, we have more.
Baby, if you
Well,
go
I
back
don't
to
wanna
him
claim
and talk,
that.
let me tell you something.
Fuck you.
He already know.
What's your
he was
closing
in the,
thoughts?
He already know. He was in the situation himself. The fuck? Y'all better keep your mouths closed.
And on that note, I'm gonna say always use your voice, even if it makes people uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Closing
Amber?
thoughts, Amber. Keep your cups full.
Skip.
Again.
T.
Listen. Don't let nobody stifle you, your voice, your creativity. If it's something that lights a fire under your ass when you think about it, then that's what you should be doing in life.
Ladies, we hold the power to change the generation. We can change the narrative ourselves. We love you and good night.
Well, before we say goodnight, ladies, tell them where to find you on social media. Amber, I know you're not on social media, but tell them how to find you if they need to find you.
So what you do is you go up to the corner, make a left.
Or you contact the two Dons. That's THE
Exactly. They'll
number
put you in
2
contact
Dons
with me.
on Instagram.
Yep.
T, you up?
At Conversations with She, all one word, or at Many Facets of T.
Okay.
That's a lot of spelling. We'll put it on our page. THE, the number 2, DHONS. Catch us every Tuesday on the Uncensored Network. We usually at 8 p.m., but we'll let y'all know if we coming earlier. Good night.